Is your attitude up to you? Yes, it is. Lynnie and I am here trying to do my very best to help you to find your purpose. So I am using as a tool Dr. Shad Helmstedter's book, 365 Days of Positive Self-Talk for Finding Your Purpose, because as a self-talk trainer and a life coach for the self-talk is really important. And the better your self-talk, the better your programs, the better, and when I say programs, I mean mental programs. We talk about this a lot. If you're first time to my channel, welcome. And just to let you know, we talk a lot about neuroplasticity and how the brain is plastic or malleable and until your very last breath, unlike what many of us were taught in school, that after a certain age, adolescence, your brain just stops growing. And that's just not true. It's been proven science and been proven that your brain continues to rewire itself again until the very last breath you take, which is very good news. Why is that good news? Because if you have any programs, which most of us do, over 77% of our programs, all of us, are negative and do not help us. They're actually harmful and they stop us from getting where we want to go. They're not true. Like for example, if you say that I never remember names, I'm too fat, I'm not good enough, that person has more money and they're richer than me, or even having ideas about people who are rich and you're not rich, or and that they're bad, or they were born with a silver spoon, or any of those things, which is so interesting because we live in a very abundant universe, and my belief is that we chose it all. So we chose to come here to this planet, and we chose this time, this body, the vehicle, the body as the vehicle, and so that's a very empowering thought. And so if that is true, and if neuroplasticity, meaning the brain is plastic, come on, Happy Beans, come on, Ben, up, up. She wants to come up. If that's true, then that means that it's a little bit chilly. The sun is coming back out, so it'll come down in a second. Oh, hey, Happy Beans. Say hola. She wants to say hello to everybody. Hola, I'm Happy Beans. So if that's true, which I totally believe, spiritually, because as a spiritual guided mentor, and it's one of the things I teach in practical spirituality, and I believe spirituality is super practical because we're moving from the invisible, we are creating the visible, and we do that so amazingly when we set goals. And we do that even more amazingly when we train our brain to think positively, that we can do things, that we are able to, that we are going to change our attitude, that we can have a good day, that we create that good day by the way we think about it, the way we decide how things are going to be. Okay, here's Feather. She wants up too. Come on, Feather. This is Flying Feather. If you're new to the channel, if not, you already know. This is Feather and this is Happy Beans. Hello, the puppies. So Feather likes to be here. Hola. So these things are really importante, and the reason they are is because it's your programs for failure or for success. In spiritual speak, I would say there's never a failure. Failure does not exist. It's all an experience, it's all an adventure, and there is no good or bad, wrong or right. Those are polarities that we experience here on planet Earth. And on two sides of the stick, you've got the good, the bad, the black, the white, the good, the evil, however you want to say it, negative, positive, all of that, failure, success. And so you get to decide what is success to you. You get to decide those programs. And when you understand neuroplasticity, that you can retrain, rewire your brain with the self-talk language that is positive, of that, and not only encouraging, but telling you the how-to to do it. And it's what Dr. Shad Helmstetter created. That's why I am constantly promoting his app, even though it's not mine. Um, it's just it's so spectacular in the way that it helps the brain to rewire, because it's repetition. That's the golden ticket. When you understand, the more that you're repeating something to yourself, and this is why self-talk can be so super harmful, your self-talk. If you're constantly saying, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not, and it's really funny, if you monitor your self-talk and you even monitor people around you, you know exactly their programs that they're running. You know that they're, whether they're positive, whether they're can-doers, whether they'll get something done or they'll self-sabotage. You have a pretty good working idea just based on how they talk about themselves and how they talk about situations, whether they're victims of a situation or circumstance, or whether that creates an opportunity for them, or that they can overcome and do whatever it is they want to, that they see a challenging moment in time as they're looking for solutions rather than focusing on the problem. And this is one of the things to go a little deeper into. Before I read the passage, by the way, I haven't read the passage yet, which is, but it's all about, you know, it's your attitude. And when and I've been to therapy many moons ago, but what I noticed in therapy, and this is typical of therapy today, and I'm not saying that therapy is good or bad, wrong or right. That is for every individual to decide. The way I see therapy is that it is very focused on the problems. You are reliving the problems that you had, and you're constantly talking about it, and saying, you know, finding tools to work through the problem and of the past. So the past is the past, and when you're living in the present, you are moving yourself forward to the future, and you get to create that with every single choice that you make. When you're focused on the past, you are living, typically the past can be looked at as painful, because it's you're now in lack. It was something that wasn't pleasant, and you don't want to go through that again, or you miss someone and wish they were with you, or who knows what. I mean, you could look back and be thinking of. It's great to look in the past and see the context and the contrast of what you want now and what you don't want. It really helps you to figure out what you really do want in your life. So, but you can look at the past as pain. And then I learned this from Suzanne Gieselman, that she was talking about the past is pain, the future is fear, and it's like, what if I won't get that job? What if I don't have enough money? What if my parents aren't alive? What if I get sick? What if my child gets sick? What if I can't get enough money? And so we're going into the future, many of us, with those programs of what if, and here comes the sun. So the present is the place to be creating what it is that you want to create in your life. And so I share that with you because when you understand that, and you understand neuroplasticity and the power that you have by changing your programs, and I'm talking about using the app that Dr. Shad Helmstetter created, which is positive self-talk, and it is a language that is, it's repetition. That's really bright and getting brighter, the sun. And the more that you play those positive messages to yourself, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night, you can do kind of like a breakfast, lunch, dinner type thing, you know, have or however you want to look at it, and have an extra snack in between of playing it. And because there's so many programs, meaning, and I'm not talking about the mental programs, although they're rewiring, they're helping you to rewire your brain with positive mental programs, but these are actual the sessions that Dr. Shad created for self-esteem, for positive self-growth for children 0 to 7 years old. Shadrach the Bear, kind of cartoonish, animated type um, talking with Shadrach the Bear from Planet Excellence, and helping children to have self-esteem and to take responsibility for their lives rather than being the victim and all of that. So getting back to your attitude, your beliefs they create your attitude about things. And those beliefs, they can be false beliefs. They can be negative beliefs about yourself. And the interesting thing is, once these programs are in our brains, then we no longer need a teacher or a peer or a parent or another family member, siblings, or people that we see on TV, the media, or anyone else to tell us those things. We just start parroting those things and saying those things to ourselves, like we're not good enough, we're too old, we're not strong enough, we don't have enough courage. All these movies that we love to see, like The Wizard of Oz, and because they just feel good. It's like, the Tin Man got, or the straw man got, or not the straw man, but the Tin Man and the what do you call, the Scarecrow, got courage, and the Tin Man got a heart, and all of those things that they feel good because we really identify with that. We want that for ourselves. We want to have courage. We want to have heart and love others, and we really want to have a good attitude. Whoever woke up and said, I want to have the worst day ever today? Whoever said that? I don't know. Do you? I have never known anyone to say that. Yet we'll go around and have a really bad day, and we'll allow someone who's having a bad day, or someone that tells us something that's not very encouraging or not very kind, and we'll take that, and our programs say that we're not enough, or we don't have enough, we're not good enough, or my hubby used to always tell me, and it's really interesting, he used to tell me, you're such an angry person. And anyone in the world besides him would say, what? Because that's the last thing I am. And yet with him, because of certain things that were happening in our life, I felt very unsupported. And I was constantly telling him, you're not supporting me. You're not taking my side. You're not all these things way back in my 30s. And it's, anyway, sorry, I've got dog hairs. I always have dog hairs in my nose and my mouth. They have hair, literally. But we're shifting diets. Well, we've been shifting to raw. We thought we were feeding them raw. Anyway, we were feeding them a recipe, but now we're feeding them actual, like, drumsticks and really pieces of meat, and not just the muscle, but all the bone and everything. Anyway, so they're getting way more. I'm just sharing that because here I am going through all this with hair all over my face. If I had a Kleenex, I'd clean it all off. So my point in going back to the attitude is that creates your beliefs, create your attitudes about things. And so with my hubby, him telling me I was always an angry person, I started to question, like, am I an angry person? I feel angry with him a lot. And I had to really come to a place where, this has been many years, but it's like, this is how he feels about me. That doesn't mean that that's who I am. And with him, at these moments, I do feel angry, and he probably does perceive me as an angry person, as he tells me. But no one else would ever think that I was an angry person because it's just not who I am. And I had to, like, shake that off. So I'm just giving you an example. And, and when somebody tells you something like that, you can start thinking of yourself that you're an angry person, or you're not good enough to do something, or you're not smart enough to be an engineer, or whatever else, or you don't have what it takes to become a ballerina, or any of those things, and you really, really want it, and then you have someone telling you those things, those are their programs, those are their beliefs, and they can become yours because that's programming our mind, and taking that we're taking that because there's somebody that is they influence us in some way, because maybe they're a peer that, or a teacher, like a ballet teacher. For my daughter, the ballet teacher told her she would never be a ballerina because she was overweight, and she would never get on point, and she did. But it wasn't something she continued, but she did it just to get on point, and so she did it, and so, but she could have easily taken that and said, I'll never become a ballerina. How many children don't become what they want to become because somebody of influence told them that they weren't good enough, or they were too fat, or they were too slow, or we're not going to put you, Johnny, in the race because we need to win and you're too slow for track, or you can't swim fast enough, so we're going to put this person because they're faster. And I mean, those are all messages. It's not that, maybe they don't even tell you, the coach doesn't even tell you that they're not going to put you in, but they put someone else in, and that's a message to you that you're not fast enough, you're not good enough. And the more that we receive those messages, the more they are imprinted. They're all imprinted, but when they are continued, and we continue to get those messages, all of a sudden we start to believe them. We start telling ourselves those things like, I'm too fat to get on point. I'm an angry person, which I had to really struggle with that. I was like, no, I'm not. I had to really deal with that for quite a while. And it was a pushback for me, because it was like, no, I'm not. It's just, I'm angry with you because of this. And so I had to figure that one out. So, but like the ballerina or the track, you're not fast enough, and pretty soon you start thinking, I'm not fast enough, and maybe you'll even stop running. And so maybe then you have a negative programs around running, and so then maybe you gain weight, and you just don't even know where that came from. You might remember that, but there's so many other programs that are supportive of those programs. So it's always a bunch of programs. It's not just one. It's like a bunch, and each time you say that, then a bunch of other programs pop up saying, yeah, you never believe in yourself, you're not good enough, you never did win the race, and so, it's just not worth it. And I never went anyway. Other people are so much faster than me. And all those kinds of programs just pop up because your brain is like a computer, and it just goes through all the files and pulls them all there together for you. And then you become a failure, right? In maybe that area of your life. And that happens so often to so many of us. And that's because we all have these programs. When we understand neuroplasticity and the power of reprogramming our brain, that is a shift. That makes a humongous difference in programming the programs that you want of self-esteem, and understanding how unique and amazing you are, and that you're here for a reason. You're here to whatever your purpose is. Or go back to why we're here, is finding your purpose. So what is your purpose, and why are you here? So that's what I'm doing my best to help you to find. And I go back in between. I use Dr. Shad's book, and by no means is any of the things that I say spiritually or whatever I think. These are not his opinions. These are just mine. What I read to you is his book, and what I've learned from my own life experience and my own programs. I mean, I'm running on programs too. And I'm rewiring my brain for the programs that I want, so that I can have the attitude. I can create the attitude I want every day. So let's read the passage for today, which is, we are on day 115. There are 251 days left in 2024. We are 31.42% complete with the year. So we are moving through 2024. April 24th, here's your passage from Dr. Shad. Today, I choose to have a great attitude. How I feel about today and what I do with it is really up to me. So I choose right now to have an incredibly good attitude, feel great about myself, decide to go for it, and make today one of my best days ever. And you can do that. And I hope you do that. And I really hope you understand the power that your self-talk is the manager, is one of the most powerful managers of your neuroplasticity, of your brain. And so if you have this positive self-talk, and we've read before and we've learned together that positive self-talk is not positive thinking. It's not positive thinking or affirmations. This is repetition of the programs that you want to have in your brain, so that your output equals your input. So that you can have high self-esteem, that you actually understand and you rewire those programs to tell you how amazing you are from the top of your head to the tip of your toes, and that you can do anything that you put your mind to, and to believe in yourself, to have that self-belief, and to not take on others' programs who say they have, they know whatever it is. Like, I hope you never take what I say as gospel and this is the ultimate truth. Now, the neuroplasticity and the science behind the neuroscience and the self-talk, that you can look up for yourself. The things that I share with in spirituality, and it's all practical spirituality. These are things that I have come to believe, and they're true for me. They don't have to be true for you. And believe me, you can have your own truth, even if someone has their own truth. And when someone tells you this is the absolute truth about something, and here it is, it's that's up to you whether you want to believe that that's the absolute truth. Someone just told me that today. Well, this is the absolute truth, and it's not about you and me. This is just the absolute truth. And that's a program, because that's what he believes to be the absolute truth. It's not at all what I believe to be the absolute truth. And it's very interesting, because when I ask people, like when they tell me that the way I believe, whether it be politically, spiritually, politically is kind of out there for me anymore. I just don't engage, because I believe it's total separation. I also believe that religion and spirituality can create, because of it, can create separation. And it's so emotionally charged with our beliefs. And these are all programs. And yet you really can't tell someone, or financial, and any of these things that they say, that people advise you to not speak of at the dinner table, because they're just so emotionally charged because of these beliefs. So I just want to share that with you, because you don't ever have to take, always do your own homework. It's almost like, here's an absolute truth for you, right? That the planet Earth is flat, right? So the flat earthers say that first it was flat, then it was round, right? And now there's flat earthers who go back to it's flat. And it's just this hugely charged debate. And there's just so many of those kinds of things, like which political party is right, and it's just so polarized. And so when someone tells you that they have the absolute truth, this is the absolute truth. It's not about you and me. It's about the absolute truth. I would say, I wanted to say don't be bullied into it, but it's I kind of move away from that word, because it's just used so all the time, and I don't think a lot of people, when they're insistent on their truth, their programs running, I don't think that they're bullying. They just are doing their very best to impose their programs upon you, their free will, which are their programs. I truly, if you think about free will, and we're going a little deeper here, but do we really have free will, or are we running programs that are telling us what to do? And these programs are just so strong and so emotionally charged because this is their truth. And so it's interesting when you get to a point to where you can observe rather than getting emotionally charged about it. I would get so emotionally charged over politics, over all kinds of stuff, and like what if I was right about things, and it's to me that's just such a waste of energy at this point, because can we both have our own truth, and can I be right and you be right, because all possibilities, all probabilities exist, all exist. So what I was told today is no. And what I've been told about this, my certain belief about this in the spiritual realm, is this is wrong and I'm going down the wrong track. And I just kind of smile and say, okay, I mean, there's conversation around it, but it's really more like what I'm trying to accomplish when I have these conversations, and they're not super frequent, but when I have them, it's just, can you open your mind enough to say that maybe there's more out there, that's to me that's so limiting. It's putting you're putting everything in a box, and this is exactly the way it is, right? For me, spiritually speaking, I don't really I don't feel like I'm ever in a box. I feel like I'm continually expanding, and it feels really good. It's what I was taught. I was raised Catholic, and everything was this dogma, and this is the way this is, and this is the way that is, and this is how you should believe because this is how it is, and I believed that. To me, that was parroting. Then I was parroting that. Did I know it for a fact? Did I my faith and all of that? So just getting a little bit on the deep side of these things, and I'm not going directly into what the topic is, because it doesn't, it's not that it doesn't matter, it just matters less than just understanding our own thinking for ourselves and our own expansion into consciousness, and really doing what feels right for us, rather than because someone tells us this is the absolute truth. I don't care if it's from a pulpit or from a friend or a family member or any of that. It's that's their absolute truth, and that's the program they're running, and that's the program they've chosen, and it's very, very real to them. That is their truth. So these are all attitudes that we get to create for ourselves. We get to when we understand neuroplasticity and the power of the brain, and then from the spiritual side, when we say I'm right and you're wrong, this is the absolute truth, and what you're thinking, your beliefs are wrong. My belief, it's not about me and about you, it's about your beliefs and about my beliefs. This is the ultimate truth, and this is the absolute truth, and that is a program. And as much as the person that said that, and believe me, he's not the only one. I've had this conversation with several people, and it's just, that's a program, and mine they're mental programs, and we get to change our beliefs. We get to decide what is true for us. We get to decide what is not true for us, and that's the beauty of being on planet Earth and this beautiful adventure that we're on. So with that, I will read this passage one last time, and I hope that you enjoy it. And tomorrow we're going to talk about the right self-talk that's going to help you find your purpose. So won't that be fun? So today, April 24th, today I choose to have a great attitude. How I feel about today and what I do with it is really up to me. So I choose right now to have an incredibly good attitude, feel great about myself, decide to go for it, and make today one of my best days ever. And you get to do that. Isn't that beautiful? Yes, that's very, very empowering. So I love you very, very mucho. I believe in you. Always, my last bit of just encouragement is for you to always believe in yourself. always believe that the answer is within. Your purpose is within. And you get to go on the adventure of finding it. If you already know what your purpose is, then you get to be the one that that moves into it, activates it, and really starts sharing it with the world. Because why are we here? Are we here to be service to others or service to self? What would we like to do? How would we like to serve the rest of the world, to do the very best? And remember, your purpose comes with ease. It's something you enjoy. It's something that's so easy for you that you might say, anyone can do it. You know, we've talked about that. And the truth is, not anyone can do it, not like you. You are very, very unique. And this goes back to your self-esteem, believing in yourself and understanding who and what you really are. So I love you so very, very mucho. Remember that you can do anything you, sorry about that. I don't know why I moved the tripod. Maybe to get out of the sun that's going down right now. Anyway, just remember, you can do anything. I believe in you. And you can do it. You can find your purpose. You can understand that you are the power. You are an individual expression of the one energy. You are an individual expression of God, of the God of your understanding. You are an individual expression of that, of consciousness. And it's only a matter of degree. So you have all the constituents. You have all that power, just a matter of degree. So with that, I leave you today. We will chat tomorrow. And remember, we're going to talk about how this is going to be really helpful if you haven't found your purpose yet, but the right self-talk to help you find your purpose. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. So I love you so very, very mucho. And as always, shining my light to brighten yours. See you tomorrow. Ciao.